already. Last night I watched Noah Samson's latest video. His latest video was titled, I forget what it was. I think it was the YouTubers who backed the genocide. And I posted about it on my Instagram and I said, hey, this is a really good video. You guys should watch it because I think it is a really good video. It's a really informative video. It's not just like drama. I know that people will look at it and go, oh, that's just a drama video. It's not. It actually carefully details all of the ways in which Israel has facilitated this genocide in Gaza. And not only does it feature all of that, but it also then shows the many ways in which a lot of like centrist slop tubers who have a lot of prominence, especially as a collective, like who have a lot of range amongst a broad audience of relatively apolitical people who aren't really paying close attention to stuff. Basically those guys, I think those guys taking this like nihilistic centrist position on Israel by never really talking about Israel directly or never really talking about like the genocide and the things that have taken place, but instead covering it from the angle of like drama and what content creators are saying and how the content creators that are on the pro-Palestinian side being bad, like that, I think plays a very sinister and cynical role in also doing propaganda. And I think people need to understand that. So it goes beyond drama. It's just like, if you just simply cast it aside as drama, you miss the forest for the trees. It's important for people to recognize exactly what was going on there. I had covered this before. I covered Mutahar's like statements about this before. I didn't even know he had made one. Most of the time, a lot of content creators who are in like the tech space or in like random spaces, like they don't necessarily come out and make like big, bold, declarative statements about their politics or ongoing issues. But I think one of the ways in which like Keemstar adjacent drama slop YouTubers engage in this issue is by taking an even more sinister approach where they have no interest in understanding the actual impact, the actual issue, and instead they have all the interest in farming it and basically saying what their position is without actually saying what their position is. And I think that that is what a lot of these guys did. Some of them obviously openly and actively said they were pro-genocide, like Destiny. Other Destiny dick riders also played along with that. And then there's like, someone like Mutahar who did the lightest version of this, basically. The only impact that he had was to say, I'm apolitical, both sides are kind of crazy, but the pro-Palestinian side in America, they're so bad. There is no middle ground when it comes to genocide, obviously, as you guys know. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because it ties perfectly back to all of the deplatforming efforts that are taking place right now online against people who have criticized Israel. And you're basically joining in on that pile-on when your only output in terms of talking about this genocide is to simply say the pro-Palestinian guys are actually really bad. Anyway, so he had this to say this morning. I get watching other people's videos is all you're really good at, but try vetting out slander before promoting Hasan the Hun. I have never defended or backed the Israeli genocide on innocent Gazans. Never will I ever. To which I responded with, in your only vid on Gaza, you admit to not knowing about politics. You try to cover Israel-Palestine as drama slop for centrist audience. You defend Asmongold for inferior culture / genocide comment, then attack pro-Palestinian voices. So I guess you just wanted the ad revenue then. I then followed it up by saying, Muta is a particularly insane case because he's a victim of the same right-wing mobs he often farms in his videos. He literally left Twitter because of the vicious racism. And here he is back again, only to farm more. Motherfucker, you went on Hajj. They hate you more than they hate me, which is true. He literally had to leave Twitter, and it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs when a brown Muslim content creator has to fucking leave a social media platform because people are so vicious and so relentlessly attacking him, not on the virtues of his thoughts or his ideas or his opinions either, just simply because he's Indian, okay? It's completely unacceptable. It's disgusting. I've talked about it quite extensively. Now, having said that, part of the reason why he came back was to unironically, play the role of one of the good ones. That's what's so crazy about it. Like he will act like he will say, I don't have a political opinion, but then also turn around and demonstrate a political opinion that, of course, is trying to position himself as like a centrist person. Okay? As a centrist person, angling it from the perspective of drama. To which he also responded, by the way, in your video on Gaza. He said, yes, I do admit to not being an expert on the topic. Didn't cover it as drama since it isn't one. Serious situation with dead people and attacks happening every day. I just don't downplay rapes and sugarcoat violent organizations like you. Also didn't defend Asman in vid. Now, what's interesting about that response is it basically demonstrates the exact thing that I'm talking about. It also is a lie. He did cover it as simply drama. Because I responded back to him saying, I didn't cover it as drama with this tweet. Okay. Yeah, I don't do this, and then ends up doing it. I responded with, we were a year into a genocide here. This was your only video on the topic. It downplayed and ran defense for Asman's takes, while the bulk of your commentary revolved around how evil the pro-Palestinian streamers were from clips you compiled off snark subreddits. 990,000 views, though. And then I said, just going to leave this here again. For 16 months, there's been a genocide going on in Gaza. Israel has the same ambitions for the West Bank, which has been under apartheid occupational rule since 1967. If your advocacy is slandering and deplatforming pro-Palestinian voices, just admit you love Israel and its genocide. We know. Right? Yes, I gave it a self-like this morning. Suck my dick. I was retweeting it. So, my point here is that these guys, I think, thought that they can get away with doing this shit. And for much of the time frame in my coverage on Israel-Palestine, I haven't really hyper focused on like a bunch of these drama slob tubers. I think Bad Empanada has done a decent job. Bad Empanada has done a decent job of like going after some of these guys, at least like by breaking down the lack of arguments that they're posting on their videos, right? Because normally you would think like, okay, these guys don't have any sort of serious interest or whatever. Why are you talking about them? They're silly. They're completely. They're irrelevant, right? Like real things are happening in the world and these guys are relevant. They're not, because as a collective, they have the capacity to basically fucking inform a lot of uninformed people. And what are they using? What are they doing with the influence that they have? They're deluding people into thinking suspiciously that all of the fucking pro-Palestinian people, all the pro-Palestinian advocates are just like scary racist monsters or whatever. There's scary racist monsters that are undermining rapes. Like that right there didn't cover it as drama since it isn't one.